Most of you who are familiar with gacha games are familiar with the term rerolling. For those who are jumping into Liberation Dx2 without knowing about rerolling, then allow me to explain. Rerolling is when you spend the first amount of in-game currency given to you to obtain a unit or units. People reroll in order to obtain a strong unit to have a better start at the beginning of the game. This video will be giving you information on what demons you should aim for when rerolling. Now allow me to explain real quick that Liberation Dx2 is a free-to-play friendly game because most of all the demons can be fused as long as you grind for a lot of mag, the currency for fusions. The reason I say this is because the rate for pulling a 5-star demon is very low, probably one of the lowest compared to other gacha games. Therefore, if you obtain a strong 4-star demon, then you can rest easy and stop rerolling, as there are amazing 4-star demons and you can potentially fuse the top tier 5-star demons later on as you progress in the game. As well, the prologue of the game and finally getting to your first roll takes a very long time for Liberation as compared to other gacha games that are pretty much in a couple minutes. As well, you can only pull about twice at most. With that out of the way, I will now begin these 10 4-star demons to keep and invest if you pull one of them. Anubis is a 4-star demon that has a powerful magic attacker. Ideally, you want Anubis to have the purple archetype, which will obtain Merciless Blow that adds 20% damage when you hit the enemy's weakness. With an already strong magic stat, you can be sure that Anubis will nuke everything in sight. Beelzebub is another powerful magic attacker. He wields a unique skill called Gluttony that will inflict Mudo damage to all enemies and healing back 50% of the damage done to them. Ideally, you want to pull for the purple archetype, as it will attain Makara Shift, which will activate Makara Karn when abused or going second. Makara Karn allows your entire party to repel all magic attacks for one turn. This can be such a lifesaver and great for defending. White Rider is one of the few exclusive gacha demons. If you pull this demon, not only should you be happy you pulled an exclusive demon, but a strong one at that. White Rider is a magic attacker with a unique skill called God's Bow that inflicts Hama damage to a single enemy, but with a 50% chance to insta-kill them. This is a great skill to potentially clear out enemies or taking out the healer demon in PvP. Ideally, you want a teal archetype to obtain Null Force, which will remove its only weakness. Rangda is an amazing magic attacker for PvP. What makes it so good is repelling physical moves, which is incredibly annoying for AoE physical attackers. Its only weakness are Zeo moves, so make sure to give it a resist electricity. Ideally, you want a purple archetype because it will contain the skill Endure, which will live with 1 HP if it's supposed to die once per battle. Teal is also a good archetype because it will obtain Null Force to increase its defenses. Sandalphon is a versatile demon that can be used as a mixed magic attacker and or support depending on which archetype you get. Getting a yellow archetype will give Sandalphon Samarikarm, which will revive a single party member to full health once per battle. Getting red will give Sandalphon Mahamaon, which is a strong Hama skill that inflicts damage to all enemies. A skill Sandalphon comes equipped no matter the archetype is Auto Sukukaja, which automatically applies Sukukaja at the start of the battle, increasing the entire party's accuracy and evasion. Fenrir is a staple for Aura Gate, and because the mobs in the higher levels of the Aura Gate will be incredibly fast at the higher levels, bringing along Fenrir, who is one of the fastest demons in the game, is necessary to go first. Fenrir should be ideally purple to obtain the Speedster skill, which will passively increase his battle speed by 50%. Fenrir also has Auto Tarukaja, which increases the entire party's attack power. Definitely built Fenrir as a strong support unit for Aura Gate runs. Loki is a strong magic attacker with notable stats in its HP and vitality, which mean it can take more hits than other magical attackers. Alongside those strats, Loki knows Ice, Resist, Force, and Dark. Covering 3 types of attacks is so incredibly good. Its only weakness is light, therefore you want the teal archetype so you can get resist light to cover its only weakness. Loki also has a unique passive skill called Trickster, which has a 20% chance of not using a press turn when hitting an enemy's weakness. This is very useful as this is a possible extra turn for you to heal, buff, or attack again. Kukumatsu is a strong support demon for PvP. Ideally, you want purple to obtain Tetra Shift, which will activate Tetrakarn when going second or ambush. Tetrakarn will repel a physical move, which is as useful as Makara Karn for those strong physical attackers in PvP or PvE. Teal is also great for Nullfire, which will nullify its only weakness. Yellow will also give Kukumatsu Fog Breath, which inflicts Torunda and Sukunda to all enemies. Torunda reduces attack and Sukunda reduces accuracy and evasion. This is good if you plan to run it as a debuff. King Frost is one of the most bulky magic attackers in the game. As well, it has a unique skill called Cold World, which deals heavy ice damage to all enemies and debuffs the enemy's team defenses by 20% alongside that. It is ideal to pull King Frost with the teal archetype for resist fire to cover up its only weakness. However, you can work with a yellow archetype that has concentrate, which will increase the next magical attack power by a lot. And when Templar Dragon is your liberator, you can expect King Frost to severely dent the enemy's team's defenses. Just remember to give King Frost resist fire when you can, as Agi skills are a common magical attack in the game. Zhong Kui is one of the best physical attackers in the game. Its basic moveset contains Auto Kaja, which automatically activates Taru Kaja for the party at the beginning of the battle, and Onikagura, which is a strong physical move with a 30% on critting an enemy. Ideally, you want purple so you can get Intimidating Stance, which will take off one press turn from the enemy if they go first. All these 4-star demons will serve you just as good as a 5-star demon. However, if you're really determined to obtain a 5-star, well, here are 10 demons to look out for with the recommended archetypes. Quetzalcoatl comes in with 4 attack resistances to physical, fire, force, and light, and only 1 weakness to dark. This means all you have to do is inherit a resist dark, and you have a demon that resists 5 out of the 7 attacks in the game. It also contains Second Coming, which is a strong reviving move that will recover more than 1 party member to full health. Ideally, you can get red if you want Mohammedine for more attacking skills on it, or purple to debuff the enemy team with Auto Toranda. Vishnu is a magic attacking powerhouse and contains an incredible powerful passive called Avatar. Avatar will let it revive once with 200 HP and recover 40% of its HP after a battle ends, which is great for those difficult multi-hit battles like in the story mode. Ideally, you should obtain a red archetype to obtain Megadolion, an almighty attack to the entire enemy team. With its already strong magic strat, you know this is gonna hit like a truck. Siegfried is another powerhouse for physical attacks and a gacha only demon. First of all, it has Berserker God, which is a strong single targeting physical move. Alongside that, it has Arms Master, a passive skill that increases damage and accuracy by 15%. 3 of the 4 archetypes are good for Siegfried, depending on how you want to build it. Red will give it Titanomakia, which is a high critical attack that deals damage to all enemies for an AoE skill. Yellow if you want Charge, which will increase your physical attack by 125%, which can combo amazingly if you're using Templar Dragon as your liberator, which will further increase his effect by 50%. And purple will give Siegfried a second wind with Enduring Soul, which will prevent it from dying once and recover 200 HP. Lucifer packs some heavy magical damage, not by its stats, but by its skills. Not only does it come with Megadolion, but also Morningstar, which is an AoE all-mighty skill, but does more damage than Megadolion. As well, Lucifer has Trisagion, which is a heavy-hitting single-targeting Agi skill. Ideally, you want a teal Lucifer for Drain Light to cover its only weakness. Purple can also work with Massacre, which is a passive skill increasing AoE damage by 20%. Kukulon is a physical attacker with a passive skill called Savage Glee, which increases critical chance by 25%, and a unique physical attack called Gay Bowl, which randomly targets the enemy team for up to 4 to 6 times. Ideally, the teal archetype will give it Repel Dark to increase Kukulon's resistances. Mara is another incredibly strong physical attacker with a large pool of luck to go inside it. Not only does it have the AoE physical attack Sanomakia with a 30% chance to crit, but also the unique skill Hell Thrust, which is an AoE attack that randomly attacks up to 4 times with a 35% chance to charm. Ideally, you want the teal archetype for Null Ice to cover up its only weakness. Alice is a gacha only demon with one of the strongest magic stats in the game. Alice contains the unique skill Die For Me, which will kill a single enemy once per battle. This is so ideal for taking out the healer or demon with a reviving skill in PvP. Ideally, you should pull for a teal Alice for Repel Light to cover its only weakness, or red for Hellgaze, a strong single targeting Moodle skill, but just make sure you inherit Resist Light if you plan to keep a red Alice. Yoshitsune is a gacha only demon with strong physical stats and a very powerful AoE physical skill called Hasotobi, which inflicts 8 attacks randomly to the enemy team. Ideally, the purple archetype will give it physical amp, which will increase physical damage by 25%, perfect for inflicting a devastating Hasotobi. Metatron is a magic powerhouse with an incredible amount of resistances, such as fire, ice, electricity, and force, and Null's Light on top of that. Metatron also has the passive skill Infinite Chakra that will add +1 to your MP recovery per turn. It also has 2 random AoE skills, Holy Wrath, which inflicts light damage, and Fire Sanai, which inflicts almighty damage. Ideally, most of these archetypes work out for Metatron. Red would give it Mad Hamadine for a powerful light AoE skill, yellow for Salvation, which will heal all party members and cure any status ailments, and purple for Mana Gain, passive skill that boosts its total MP to 12 to store more MP and deal more attacks to the enemy team. Trumpeter is a gacha exclusive demon who is a very annoying demon to fight against in PvP. Trumpeter has a skill called Apocalypse, which does almighty damage to all foes and with a 30% chance of inflicting mute. When mute is inflicted, those demons cannot use skills. Therefore, if you inflict mute on the enemy's team's healer or magic nuke, you have completely shut down that demon temporarily. Pair Concentrate with Templar Dragon as your liberator, and the amount of damage you'll be dealing is nothing to laugh at. Trumpeter has a versatile archetype list, with red giving it Judgment, an almighty AoE attack that also buffs the party with a free Tarukaja, purple if you want auto Rakukaja, which will activate Rakukaja at the beginning of the battle, giving a nice defense boost to your team, or teal to add resist physical to its defenses. These are 20 demons that are essentially very strong and incredibly useful in the early and long run for Liberation Dx2. Only any one of these demons with a good archetype means you should consider keeping that account. Again, only 5 out of the 20 demons from just this list cannot be fusion, which means if you got that 4-star White Rider, save that account and fuse for a desired 5-star later on. This was just barely scratching the surface of other amazing 4-star and 5-star demons available to you in this game. Save your time playing the game and not just rerolling, as acquiring the proper archetype will take more time out of you. Before I end this video, I want to give credit to the Liberation Dx2 subreddit. This is where I learned everything from the beginner's tips to the more nitty-gritty of the game. I definitely recommend checking it out if you have any questions. The link is available down below in the description. And until then, good luck on your rolls, stay salty.